Get ready for a seismic shift in the world of Formula One. The motorsport community is abuzz with the revelation of Adrian Newey's contract details, and it's clear that Lawrence Stroll has pulled out all the stops to bring this legendary engineer to Aston Martin. With the official announcement potentially coming as soon as this weekend at the Baku Grand Prix, the anticipation is palpable. Aston Martin's state-of-the-art infrastructure and Stroll's limitless budget are set to provide Newey with the perfect playground to revolutionize the team's performance, especially with the reliable Honda engine at his disposal. Could this be the dawn of a new era, with Aston Martin poised to become the next dominant force in F1? Since the news of Adrian Newey's departure from Red Bull Racing broke, the F1 world has been rife with speculation about his next destination. Many believed he would join Ferrari, especially with Fred Vasseur's keen interest in Lewis Hamilton's high-profile move to the team. Newey himself had expressed regret over not working with Hamilton, making the Ferrari rumors all the more plausible. However, that deal fell through, and now the motorsport world is reeling from the bombshell that Newey has signed with Aston Martin. Reports suggest that Newey has inked a 5-year deal with the team where he will lead a group of elite aerodynamicists and oversee their technical department in preparation for the 2026 regulations. This strategic move is part of Aston Martin's ambitious plan to ascend to the pinnacle of Formula One, with Lawrence Stroll sparing no expense. However, Newey is just one piece of the puzzle. Team owner Lawrence Stroll has been meticulously assembling a powerhouse team long before their new infrastructure was completed. He has been recruiting some of the brightest minds in the paddock, and everything is coming together just as Aston Martin's cutting-edge wind tunnel is about to become operational. Joining Newey in the technical leadership is Andy Cowell, who played a crucial role in Mercedes' dominance from 2013 to 2020, and will take on the role of Aston Martin's CEO this October. Enrico Cardile, formerly Ferrari's technical director, will also join the team as chief technical officer. Additionally, Dan Fallows, who transitioned from Red Bull in 2022, is part of this formidable lineup. Beyond these high-profile hires, Aston Martin has been quietly bringing in key mid-level engineers whose contributions, though less publicized, are vital to the team's quest for success. With new regulations on the horizon, Aston Martin is poised to gain an edge that few other teams can match, making them a formidable contender. For seasoned F1 observers, this scenario might evoke a sense of déjà vu. Remember how top teams vied for Lando Norris's signature? Despite McLaren's challenges, Norris remained loyal, driven by Zak Brown's promise of a championship-winning car by 2025, a promise that is now being realized ahead of schedule. Lawrence Stroll is charting a similar course, but with even grander ambitions. He is assembling a team of superstars, much like Zak Brown did, but with one significant advantage: Fernando Alonso. Unlike Norris, who is still chasing his first title, Alonso is a seasoned world champion who thrives under pressure. The focus here isn't solely on Lando, but on the obstacles both Aston Martin and McLaren have faced and continue to face in their pursuit of a championship-winning car. The spotlight is now firmly on Adrian Newey and his transformative move to Aston Martin. With Fernando Alonso's influence and Newey's desire to remain close to home in the UK, the stars have aligned perfectly for Aston Martin. Adrian Newey is set to take on a significantly more hands-on role at Aston Martin compared to his relatively limited involvement at Red Bull, where he primarily focused on their hypercar project. According to reports from BBC Sports, Newey has signed a lucrative 5-year deal with Aston Martin, valued at up to $30 million per year, including bonuses. An official announcement is expected soon during a press conference at Aston Martin's Silverstone base. Regarded as one of the greatest F1 designers of all time, Newey boasts an incredible record with 12 drivers' championships and 13 constructors' titles from his stints at Williams, McLaren, and Red Bull. His expertise is particularly sought after when new regulations come into play, and his timing couldn't be better as he is set to spearhead Aston Martin's 2026 car development. When Newey officially starts with Aston Martin in March 2025, he'll be positioned at the top of their engineering structure, overseeing the team's push into the new regulatory era. However, the road ahead isn't without its challenges. Lawrence Stroll's squad has failed to meet expectations this season, and 2025 isn't expected to bring any major breakthroughs either. with the next car being more of an evolution of this year's design. That's why the focus is squarely on 2026. Aston Martin now has all the right ingredients: top-tier talent, state-of-the-art facilities, and the expertise of a legendary figure like Newey. But success isn't guaranteed. It will come down to how well these resources are utilized. Stroll and the entire F1 world will be expecting big results, but execution will ultimately determine if Aston Martin can finally rise to the top. Despite all the power moves that Lawrence Stroll has been making behind the scenes, one massive flaw remains in his project: his son, Lance Stroll. Aston Martin has been both very good and very bad during the last 2 seasons, and Lance was way behind Fernando Alonso in both. You can bet that Newey won't be too thrilled working with Lance, as he only wants to work with the best of the best. Considering the situation at Red Bull at the moment, it makes perfect sense for them to go after Max Verstappen. The prospect of pairing Alonso and Verstappen would create an incredibly strong duo, not just on paper but in reality, a far more dominant lineup than having Verstappen alongside Lance Stroll. With Newey having no personal ties to the Stroll family, it's likely he'd push for the Alonso-Verstappen combination. Most of the key figures within Aston Martin would probably back this move too, as it would yield better data and make the car's development far more efficient. Lance, who's known to buckle under pressure at times, might struggle to keep up if Verstappen joins the team. We all know Alonso's days in Formula One are numbered, and he won't be around for much longer. But rest assured, he'll give everything he has to help Aston Martin transform into the powerhouse they seem destined to become. His passion and motivation at this stage in his career are going to depend on having a top-tier car and an elite team of engineers backing him up. Aston Martin can absolutely deliver in that regard, but they're not stopping there. They're setting the stage to bring in Verstappen at the first opportunity, likely in 2026. While 2025 might not bring huge changes for either Verstappen or Aston Martin, the rest of the grid isn't slowing down. Teams are rapidly catching up to Red Bull, and even before the new regulations kick in, Red Bull's dominance could face real challenges. Verstappen, who's already shown signs of frustration with the RB20's development, might see this as the perfect chance to move on, leaving the door wide open for a move to Aston Martin. It's no secret that Lawrence Stroll is willing to make hard choices to keep his team at the top of the grid, but there's one decision he might struggle with: replacing his own son. Demoting Lance from his F1 seat and admitting that he's not the driver he envisioned could be a line he's not ready to cross. However, if Stroll wants to bring Adrian Newey and Max Verstappen together, that may be exactly what needs to happen. Another crucial point, as mentioned earlier, is how Ferrari's pursuit of Adrian Newey eventually fizzled out. Their interest in bringing him on board cooled off when they realized they didn't want to get caught in a bidding war with Aston Martin. According to Autosport, Ferrari had initially been linked heavily with Newey when word got out that he was leaving Red Bull, and the Italian outfit seemed ready to go all in on the move. Sources suggest Ferrari team boss Fred Vasseur had lined up the budget to bring Newey in as a consultant, and the plan was for him to operate out of the UK rather than relocate to Italy. It would have been a similar arrangement to what Ferrari had with John Barnard, who worked from his own office in Guildford with engineers seconded to his team. However, Aston Martin came in strong with a massive offer, and Lawrence Stroll personally made the case to Newey. A private tour of Aston Martin's state-of-the-art Silverstone headquarters left no doubt that the team had big ambitions. Stroll, ever the dealmaker, was hopeful about locking Newey down, telling Bloomberg, "Adrian and I have not been only talking for months, but actually for years. Adrian is clearly the most talented and gifted figure in Formula One based on his track record and history, in addition to being a hell of a gentleman. So I'd be very excited for Adrian to join our team, as I think every other Formula One team on the grid would feel exactly the same." In the end, Ferrari chose not to match Aston Martin's hefty offer, rumored to be around $100 million spread over 3 seasons, along with performance-based bonuses. Instead, Ferrari opted to focus on strengthening its internal structure. With everything in mind, do you think Aston Martin can become the next super team to dominate the paddock? We'd love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of Formula One and want to stay updated with the latest news, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Keep the pedal to the metal, and we'll see you at the next race.